because you played for, I think, 3 or 4 IPL teams, didn't you?
No, I didn't.
Oh,
9.
No, you played for 9 IPL teams.
That's still a record.
Didn't.
Yeah, I did. Still a record.
How many teams is there? 10.
There's 10 now. Poker nights in his room. And
yeah. So you played poker nights with him in India?
Yeah. Yep.
Was it most of the team players?
Yep. And the opposition.
And the opposition.
guys who played poker look forward to playing against Rajasthan because you go there and you'd
after
play
the game.
Before the game, after
Before
the game. I mean, I'm biased towards Maxi. I was always really hard on him as a player and as a friend at times.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he's as good as we've had, I think, for what he's been able to achieve. The places that he's taken the game is ridiculous.
Welcome to the Warnes Way podcast, Finchy. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me. It's an honour.
No, all good, Finchy. You've driven nearly 2.5 hours here, so thank you so much for driving all this way. I apologise if you got caught in traffic or had to get up earlier.
No, not at all. I did the daycare drop-off this morning.
Yeah.
Jumped on the highway and then it was closed. Bit of roadworks, bit of accidents. So, but overall, I love spending time in the car. It just gives me a time to almost switch off the phone and just chill.
Yeah, I actually completely agree with you because so many people that I know sort of don't like driving or they sort of look at driving as, oh, I have to get from point A to point B now or all that stuff. But I'm somebody that looks at driving as it's a place for me to think. It's a place for me to do phone calls. It's a place for me to just sort of be in my own space. And I actually use it now like as a place that I use to talk to Dad, which might sound weird, but I think to the people that have lost someone, they might be able to relate to it where, especially now that I'm driving Dad's car, I find it a perfect chance for me to just talk to him one-on-one. And even though he's not, like I'm not getting anything back, I still find it a really good spot for me just to vent.
Yep.
And so, no, I love driving.
No, I can understand that because I think you've got peace and you've got space. You've got your phone there if you need to call someone, but you've also got time where you're probably driving the same roads most of the time. So it's not like you have to navigate where you're going. It's just you can literally zone out and just think. That's pretty cool.
Are you a podcast or music man when you're driving?
Podcast. I've never been huge into music. And now, well, of course I love listening to music, but I wouldn't actively turn on an artist and cycle through all their hits or anything. Radio, that's where I listen to most of my music, and then podcasts. But I think since having my daughter, she's 3.5 now. When I travel, I can't really listen to music. It makes me miss home a little bit too much. And I mean, if I go on my Spotify playlist now, it's Disney hits and stuff like that from when she's in the car. But overall, like mainly podcasts.
Yeah, so like the Frozen playlists and soundtracks from all those type of shows. Is that what you mean?
If anyone wants to listen to a playlist on Spotify, Essie's Disney. Essie's Disney. So it's literally the Disney songs from movies that she likes, and you just pump them out and you listen to them, and then you start singing along, and then before you know it, you're both belting out the words together to Let It Go.
Yeah, that's great.
It's pretty cool.
Have you had the chance to show her any of your sort of childhood movies that you watched when you were 3, 4, 5, 6 years old to her?
No, and this is the thing that frustrates my wife is she's like, well, what did you used to watch? I said, we used to watch cricket and footy.
Yeah.
And then on Saturday mornings, it'd be rage before you went and played cricket or footy.
Yeah.
But that was it. Literally, I don't remember watching too many movies. Like my brother was a big Collingwood fan, obviously still is. So we used to watch the 1990,
Dad's shown me 5 of the greatest grand finals ever. One of them had Geelong in it. I think 2 of them.
89?
Yeah, it was. I think it's 89.
89, Ablett kicked the bag. Mark Yates.
Seen it.
Yeah, like it was, that's pretty cool. But Collingwood had like a year to remember or something like that, which documented a couple of years before struggles and then the season culminating into winning the flag. And my brother used to put that on before he went and played footy. So
to hype himself up.
Yeah, and that would be, if I had to put on one movie, it'd actually be that I've watched so many times right throughout. And that's not even as a Collingwood fan.
Wow. So would you have any of those before you're walking out onto the ground? Would you have any sort of music or movies or shows that you'd watch before a game to sort of hype yourself up?
Not really. I used to listen to one song as I was getting to the ground. It was No Cigar by Millencolin.
Yeah.
That was the only one I'd listen to. And then in the change rooms, guys would have their own music taste over the boombox, and it didn't bother me one bit whether it was silent, whether there was music.
You
Didn't
could
bother me
sort
at all.
of, you could get into your mindset of you're ready, you've done the preparation, you've done the training, now it's time to perform.
Yeah, and I think that's a part of it. You've got different personalities when you make up a cricket side, especially an Australian side. You've got guys from all over the country, but also guys from different backgrounds, guys from different age brackets as well. So you might have a 22-year-old and a 36-year-old. Like it's just not quite the same as well. So it never ever bothered me what was on in the change rooms. Everyone can do whatever they like to get themselves ready to play. Because overall, it's an individual game within a team game. But nothing in particular that stood out in that regard.
Yeah. Who says, okay, give me the Bluetooth, give me the password, I'm putting my music on? Was there somebody in the team that always wanted to have the music? Or who had the best music, if you can remember? Like
everyone thinks that they've got the best music taste,
true.
don't they? Like mine would generally be 80s and 90s bangers, something like that. The youngsters, I never quite understood what kind of music they were going to, but you'd listen to it all. Yeah. It's generally, thinking back, David Saker was the one as a coach of Victoria for a period, then assistant with Australia. He would always 70s and 80s like hard rock music, and that was his thing. And he would get so angry when people put on pop music and electronic music in particular. Yeah. That's not music. Yeah, that's not music.
That's exactly what Dad used to
exactly the same as your dad.
Exactly what Dad used to say to me. He'd show me all of these amazing songs from all these amazing artists and bands in the 60s, 70s, 80s, all up until probably the early 2000s. And then I'd play my music and be like, come on, mate, there's just no music. It's just like it just beats just
What's
dribble.
Your music though?
Well, now, actually, I've done a full circle moment. I only listen to the playlist that Dad's made and I hit shuffle.
Yeah.
Because there's so many songs that I actually feel like it's real music. You can hear the passion in the voice and the instruments. But I love Ed, love Chris, Coldplay. They're sort of what I've always got on shuffle. But, yeah, I don't really listen to the music I used to listen to with Dad. It's almost like everything he used to say, now that when you sort of look back and remember, it's like, oh, maybe he was right about that.
Yeah.
And he was right about a lot of things, music, life. But no, I listen to his music a lot.
A lot of that is just becoming, or finding yourself, really, isn't it? Growing up and thinking, well, no, Dad surely can't know everything. Like he's right about that. And especially in your situation where probably everybody wanted a piece of his time. So that's being divided up. And then you're like, no, but you're telling me this. Yeah. And so you almost out of default, you go, no, I'll do it my own way. Yeah. And then you come full circle. It's pretty cool.
No, it is pretty cool. But going back to your childhood, you said you had a brother.
He was two older brothers.
So you're the youngest of three?
And then a younger sister after 9 years.
Wow. So you're in the middle. I'm in the middle as well.
Yeah, I was the youngest for ages. Yeah. And I liked being the youngest. I liked being the centre of attention and the one that
you can get away with it all. And
the one that everybody doted over. Yeah. And then 9 years later, my sister come along and, cool childhood, growing up in the country in Colac. We had a 3-acre, it wasn't a farm, 3-acre property. There was the odd cows and stuff here and there, but footy and cricket, that was basically it. Footy in the summer, in the winter, cricket in the summer. Yeah. Riding our bikes everywhere. We lived a little bit out of town, so looking back now, like my parents were nuts. We used to ride our bikes along Ballarat Road into Colac, like cattle trucks flying along non-stop, and here we are, 10, 11 years old, just riding our pushies in there. Like I'm just thinking, if that's my daughter, no chance that I'm letting her do that. No. It was a cool childhood though.
Is there any similarities between your childhood and the childhood you're now giving your kids?
Very different.
Very different?
Very different.
Is there anything sort of you wish you could grab from your childhood where you were growing up on the property to now?
A bit of simplicity. Yeah. That was basically us. We weren't allowed in the house when the sun was up. Which is total opposite to what kids are doing these days. They're spending so much time inside. It used to be, right, get up, have your breakfast, like school holidays, for example. Mum and Dad both worked full time. Get up, have your breakfast, either get in the car, you're going to your nan and pops, or get outside and play and don't come back until you're hungry for lunch and then go out again. Whereas now it's just, it's a bit cold, like we can't go outside now, and it's raining. No, it's too hot. We can't go outside because it's too hot. So it's full circle. I think she's obviously very different to what we are. She's what we were. She's quite an emotional, very intelligent little girl. even though she's only 3.5, but we were just not one care in the world for school. It was about how much footy, how much cricket can we play? Why do we have to come inside?
Yeah.
Like that, and that was it. So growing up in Colac and then moving to Melbourne when I was 18, having 18 years there, and then moving back to Geelong, sort of halfway closer to seeing my family a lot more often. And I think when you travel the world and you're overseas so often, you like getting. Well, I've seen my family more in the last 3 years than I would have in the last 20.
Wow.
So that's a good part of moving back there. My wife being from Melbourne, she's coming to terms with being in Geelong, and it's a good spot to be. But in terms of what I would like to change, it's just the simplicity of life as we knew it. You'd ride your bike down to the school bus in the morning. You'd cross the Princess Highway, so a major highway with trucks everywhere.
Yeah.
But at 7 or 8 years old, you don't think about it. You look left, you look right, you run
And you
across
just
the road.
go.
Yeah, the bus picks you up and drops you off. They were simple times, but they're also pretty cool.
Yeah. Do you think there's too much sort of, I'm not sure what the right word is, and I'm not a parent, so I can't really comment on it, but do you think there's a lot more hand-holding now with kids growing up than there was back in the day? Because I remember, especially from what Dad sort of would tell me in his childhood, and even with me, it was sort of just go out, do your thing. If you hurt yourself, you'll get stronger, all that sort of stuff. You sort of learn as you go. He was never always following everything I was doing, making sure I was okay. They call it like helicopter parents, I think.
Oh, yeah, we're definitely that.
Are you guys that helicopter?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think with that's a tough one because I think the world's changed so much.
Yeah.
Like the internet wasn't around when we were growing up, so it was just you had to occupy your time, and that was for us playing sport. For my oldest brother, it was studying and reading books and the academic side of it. I think it's the kids have got access to so much more stuff now. So, I mean, our daughter's got an iPad, but she only gets it if we're going on a car trip. If it's like if we're driving to Melbourne, you're in the car for an hour, she'll get the iPad to watch, and it's a treat for her. But I mean, the TV's on most of the time in the background, and it's a balance trying to find the right way to do it. Like we've got one, and we're only having one, so it's fine. But you never nail it. You try to, and you try your best to one, raise your child or your children as best as you can, but also still maintaining your relationship, because it can go out the window a little bit once you have a kid as well.
Yeah, and there's no sort of rule book with parenting. You sort of are going off instinct and what you think is the best decision to make at that time.
Yeah, and both parents mightn't always agree. I mean, my wife and I, we do things very differently.
Yeah.
And she frustrates the shit out of me sometimes, and I frustrate the shit out of her all the time because we're such different personalities. Like growing up in the city versus country, and then I've got, I'll go away for 5 weeks as a player, and now as a commentator. Like I was in India for 5 weeks, come home for 3. I'll go away for a week, and so it's almost on me to then fit back into what they're doing majority of the time, and that can be quite difficult as well. I know that there's times when I say, well, I don't want to be away for that long. How about I'll come home for a week? So no, don't do that, because a week actually just
makes it worse.
Just upsets the rhythm. Then we have to go through the whole phase of, Dad's leaving again, and then Dad's coming home, and like a 3-year-old doesn't understand the concept of time or anything. So my wife's amazing at it.
Yeah.
So trying to fit into that is quite unusual at times, but and people who don't do it don't understand what it's like to be away for a long period of time. And I mean, everything you do, you're trying to do for your family, but there's also a balance that comes with that. I mean, you talk to friends, and they're like, "Oh, it's so hard. I've got to go away for 2 nights for work." It's like, that'd be a dream. Yeah. But the reality is, like, it is what I make it. Yeah. So, but it's all good fun.
And it feels like I'm talking to Dad in a way, because you're both talking with such similar schedules, like with your traveling with, and he always used to talk about sacrifices, whether it be when he was playing or he retired and then was commentating. But we actually found after he retired, he actually got more busy and his schedule got more full and he was doing more traveling. Would yours be similar to that as well?
Probably not as much travel. I haven't. Well, I've tried to go head first into commentary. I love it. I love every bit of it, but I haven't That's a hard one because trying to raise a family, you're always really conscious of what you're taking away from them. I love doing it, and I get paid well to do it. So in a way, I justify it in my mind as I'm setting up our family.
Yeah.
I tried to do that as best as I could as a player, and now commentating in the media side of it, I think that I'm trying to set up our family.
Yeah.
But then the trade-off is you have to be away for quite a bit. So I'm probably not away. I'm not away as much, but I'm away for chunks of time and then home for longer. Whereas as a player, you're in and out. Now it's the IPL is a long tournament. So this year I did the second half of it. Come back and forth with the conflict with Pakistan going on. I come home for 5 days, but I haven't dived headfirst into then taking on jobs in England or going to the West Indies. It's just there has to be a balance and a sacrifice that I have to make, regardless of how unselfish I think I am. I'm also being very selfish at the same time in being away as much as I am.
Have you found commentating, because I know Dad used to say this as well, because he sort of retired and then got straight into commentating, the first sort of 2-3 years when you're commentating on the players that they used to just play with, like you were playing with them 6 months ago or a year ago. Do you find it sometimes a little bit awkward to sort of criticize them because you know they're your teammates and you shouldn't be, or it's just a bit of a weird feeling? Or do you find that you've got a good relationship with everybody that you're commentating on now, that it's...
Yeah, I think I do. It is difficult though. It plays on your mind a little bit. There's times when you'll be critical and you'll think, shit, is that what I should have said? Like, how will he take that? And the reality is nothing's ever personal. So I was always really big on that as a player as well. I never cared if somebody critiqued my performance because the figures are there in black and white. So it's not the case of, oh, he's wrong for that opinion. Well, I got no runs.
Yeah.
So it's right there. Or as a captain of the side, we lost. The responsibility falls on you effectively. So I was always really comfortable at making that distinction between their opinion being on cricket and on my personality. Yeah. So I was lucky. I never had to deal with that side of it. I was never attacked personally about any of it. So I think I'm just getting over that hump now, though. I've done quite a lot. I've done 3 IPLs, 2 World Cups, a Champions Trophy. Worked in Australia for a couple of years. So in that regard, I feel as though I've got
qualifications.
Yeah. Well, it's not even the qualifications. I think I've just found that balance of separating what they might think if I critique that, or what's actually the right thing to say in my professional capacity as a broadcaster, because you have to say it. Otherwise people don't take you seriously.
It sounds like that you have the respect of the players, though. So it sounds like that when you're commentating on these players, the players know you as a person and they know you as a player, that they respect your opinion and they expect what you're talking to them or saying about them on commentary.
Yeah, I think so. And you'd have to ask them. It's not something that you think about in the moment, because I think it's important that you call what you see at the time. And that'll upset some players at different times. But again, it's not personal. I'm not going out of my way to say something about a particular person because I don't like them. It's just it could be one shot that they've played and they get out and it's a rubbish shot at an important time. So you've got to call it out. Otherwise, people sitting at home think, well, why aren't you calling that out? And then you lose credibility in that space. But overall, it's a job that I love. It's honestly the second best job. Like, playing cricket for Australia was the greatest. And then now I get to travel the world, watch the best players in the world.
And still being in that cricketing environment.
Yeah, and that's one thing that you do miss, the change room side of it. So then
the camaraderie, the chemistry of the players. Yeah.
But then going into the commentary space, to end a game, like at a World Cup, for example, to end a game and then go to the bar and have a beer with Ricky Ponting, Ian Bishop, Matthew Hayden, Sonny Gavaskar, Ravi Shastri. You're talking the same stuff as you do as a player. You're critiquing what you did that day, but you're also talking about the game that you just saw. Wow, punter, what have you got coming up? You've got IPL coming up. How's your side look? And then you're just talking about cricket, and it sounds boring, but it's what we all do, and it's what you love. And of course, there's more to it than that. But that's where you get your fix of almost like the change room banter once you stop playing.
And when you were a player, have you found, like, did you know you wanted to get into commentary?
It was something I thought about before I finished playing, probably the last couple of years. And on the back of the Big Bash being split between Channel 7 and Fox, I think that was an important time as well, because so much content become available. So then the Big Bash season got longer. So then they were using current players to fill in spots. Fill in spots. And then I was always on the mic. Well, for years I was on the mic. So that gave them an insight into if I would be able to do it. If
you were a good talker.
And it just sort of went from there. I got an opportunity at the IPL through Gary Burchett, an Aussie guy who was involved with Star Sports at the time, who used to run Fox Cricket in Australia when it first started. So I was finishing up. I played a series in India and I just saw him at the ground one day and I said, I'm retiring soon. If you've got anything coming up. And he said, yep, we'll be in touch.
Oh, perfect.
So that's how that started. So I'd signed with Star Sports to do a couple of, my contract was for 2 years, 2 IPLs and whatever else they needed. And then before I'd even commentated over there, I'd done a few games in Australia through 7 and Fox when I was still playing. And then it sort of just went from there and it was really cool.
Just felt comfortable talking and being on camera.
What, you're just talking cricket.
You're just talking, it's your life, you're passionate about.
Yeah, whether you're doing it in front of a camera or not, like I'd probably be doing it anyway.
Yeah.
So it's really cool. Like you have some long days, and as a player, the biggest difference I've noticed as a player, there was days when you would pray for rain and you would get it, and you'd be the happiest. As a broadcaster, you pray for no rain because it means that you are filling so much content, especially in India, on a network that doesn't like cut away from it. They'll go back to the studio, and if you're in studio that day, you're on for hours and hours. But it's all good fun.
You talk about the seasons getting longer with the IPL and the Big Bash. Because you played for I think 3 or 4 IPL teams, didn't you?
No, I didn't. 9.
No, you played for 9 IPL teams.
That's still a record. Didn't. Yeah, I did. Still a record.
How many teams is there? 10.
There's 10 now. A couple of them aren't around anymore. So I started.
Did you play for Royals?
Yeah, that was my first ever game. So I'll tell you a story.
Did you play for Royals?
IPL 3, so 2010.
So you would have played with Dad in his last year?
Yeah.
Did you play with Dad in his last year?
Yeah. So I'll tell you how I ended up there. I can't remember exactly whether it was Graham Smith or Damien Martin got injured.
Yeah.
Shane rang Sean Graff and said, we've got a spot become available at the Royals. Do you have any young kids you'd think would do well over here?
Yeah.
And he said, yeah, we've got 2. We've got Matthew Wade, keeper batter, gives it a smack, great guy.
He played with Dad at the Stars as well, I think.
Yep.
Yep. And
then we've got Aaron Finch, a young kid from Colac. He's from the country. He drinks, he smokes, he gambles. He said, we'll take him,
perfect.
Thanks.
Yeah.
So anyway, I ended up at the Royals.
You hadn't debuted for Australia yet though in white ball or anything like that?
Nothing. I would have only played a handful of games for Victoria.
Yep.
Got over there, I think it was 30 grand I got paid. I would have spent it all during that trip as well. Like Shane was captain coach, Watto was there, Sean Tate.
Did you have Buffhead 2010?
No.
Shane Watson?
Watto was there, Michael Lum, Adam Voges, myself. So anyway, we go on. Royals don't perform overly well. Gets to the last game of the tournament. I'm in. I was batted maybe 3 or 4. Got maybe 3. Got 16 off 16. Anyway, after that, I signed for Rajasthan for 3 years as an uncapped player. I hadn't played international cricket, and there was a rule at the time that you could sign uncapped internationals.
And so uncapped means you haven't debuted?
Haven't debuted for Australia.
Okay.
So I signed for 3 years with Rajasthan. Then we go to the Champions League, which was a domestic-based tournament. Best domestic teams in the world went there. So I went there with already my Rajasthan deal signed. So I'm going there free to just take it on and have some fun. Whereas everybody else at that time was fighting
for a spot
to perform. So there was so much pressure on everyone, and I had. You
just go out there and having fun.
Yeah, so I go there and smack it.
That's the right way to play. That Dad used to say, if you're going to go out and do it, you have to have fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
You have to have fun.
And just freedom. because I wasn't playing for a contract. I wasn't playing to impress IPL franchises because that's where all the money in domestic cricket was at the time.
And that's exactly, sorry to cut you off, Dad also said as well, when you're not playing for your position, that's exactly what you said. 100%. You're playing with freedom, which means you're prepared to take a risk.
Yep.
You play a little bit better. That's when you can surprise your teammates or the opposition with a new ball or a new swing or whatever it is. You can start to take that risk.
Absolutely. So anyway, it gets really close to the auction and I'm still comfortable. Then they changed the rules just before the auction. They said, right, uncapped players, contracts are null and void, you're back into the auction. So I was like, right, okay, Rajasthan will still buy me. Yeah. And then they didn't even place a bid on me. So I went to Delhi and was at Delhi for a couple of years. And so just the one game for Rajasthan, but it was cool. I mean, back then, 2010, it was still the king, like poker nights in his room. And
so you played poker nights with him in India?
Yeah. Yep.
Was it most of the team players?
Yep. And the opposition.
And the opposition.
guys who played poker look forward to playing against Rajasthan because you go there and you'd
after
play
the game,
before the game, after the game. It was the schedule wasn't quite as condensed back then, so teams would turn up a day or so before, like earlier than what they do now. So it was just great fun, and that was my introduction into IPL cricket, which doesn't bode well when you've got the king at the absolute height of his. I guess, it was winding down as a player at that stage, but it was unbelievable for me personally, and that's when our friendship grew, I guess.
So that's when you first met Dad over in India when he had picked you to be for that game in Rajasthan?
Yeah.
I think he retired from IPL 2011. He played 4 years.
Yeah.
Did you catch up with him back when you came to Australia, or did you stay in contact with him?
In contact.
After?
Yeah, in contact. And then as he went into the media, I started playing for Australia. So you'd see each other around a lot more, and through his charity as well. I'd always be there for the poker days, and they were great fun. And anytime anything to do with the charity come up, I was too happy to help. And I don't know whether I've told you this story before about it was 1995. My nephew was going through leukemia in Colac, and the Make-A-Wish Foundation said, right, unfortunately, what's your one wish? And he said, I want to meet Shane Warne.
Wow.
And they said, like, this is 95, so this is
just
prime.
after the Gadding ball.
This is prime.
Flipper.
And this is just before, must have just been before an Ashes series and the lead up to the summer, like a handful of days out.
It would have been an Ashes, I think, in Australia that year, because 93 was the Gadding ball, which would have been Ashes in England.
Yeah.
Wow.
So they said, look, do you want to go to Disneyland? Like, that'll be easier to achieve, more likely to achieve. I said, no. And he was five, maybe 6 years old at the time. He said, no, I want to meet Shane Warne. And then out of his schedule, I think it matched up with, it was just before Christmas, so it must have been after the first or second test. Your mum's family, a lot of them are down in the Western District, so coincided with
Keilor and that area.
So it coincided with a trip down there. So they thought he'd come, and it's been organised, no problem. They thought he'd come and spend an hour or so there. Ended up spending like 5 or 6 hours, and it was pissing down rain outside. Yeah. So he was bowling leg breaks in the lounge room of my nephew, my uncle and auntie's place for hours and hours. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, so that's where the connection with him started for our family, other than just watching him on TV and seeing this global superstar in my nephew's lounge room was pretty amazing. Unfortunate circumstances, of course, but that's why any time that the charity stuff come up, only too happy to help.
Yeah. No, well, thank you for sharing that story, Finchy. That's one thing that I always hear from a lot of people is there's always something in common when they're talking about Dad, and it's always he was very generous with his time or he's very generous with his energy. Just something that he was always giving people. He was always giving back, whether it be with the foundation or whatever it was. He always wanted to help people, and he always wanted to make people smile.
Yeah, absolutely.
But no, thank you for sharing that. So you made your debut, was it 2011 or 2012?
2011 T20. Yeah, I reckon it might have been 2011.
So you do your IPL in 2010.
Yeah.
And then you come back and you get picked for Australia after performing really well in Vic.
Yeah.
And then was that T20 or ODI at that time?
T20 I started with. I made my debut in Adelaide against England.
Yeah.
I think I got 16 off 16, 16 off 15, copped a spray off Steve Smith. We lost the game by 1 or 2 runs. And then Melbourne was my second game. Got man of the match, which was pretty cool. And then didn't play for a little while. I got dropped on the back of that for a couple of not a couple of years, maybe 1 or 2 series. But that was 2011, yeah.
Yep. And then do you have a preference of what you prefer playing in T20 or ODI, or do you find that you just love cricket?
It's just cricket. I mean, anytime you're playing for Australia, regardless of the format, obviously as you get older and the schedules start getting condensed and you're trying to manage, like IPL is not going anywhere. So people say, well, why don't you take a break from IPL? You just can't.
Yeah.
So the ODI format was probably the most taxing. I only played 5 tests, so it's just trying to balance that up. But ODI is like you'll play 3 games in 5 days, and they're pretty grueling. They go for 8-9 hours. Like if you make runs and you field for 50 overs.
It's a long day, 100 overs.
100 overs, yeah, it is.
Times 300 overs.
So that was quite taxing, but I loved T20 was only just starting probably when I was 16, 17. So
yeah,
I loved the idea of growing with the game and almost being able to go back to what is my first natural instinct was to try and smack it.
Yeah.
But then having the freedom to do that, whereas 50 over cricket was still very risk averse, and then 4-day and Test cricket was obviously even more risk averse. So so it was good to have that outlet for someone to say, "No, just go and smack it." Like if you get out, it doesn't matter. It's only T20, and that's where it all started. But I love T20. I love the strategy behind it as well. As from a captain's point of view, there's no time to make decisions. You have to be so ahead of the game, and then every now and then you make what people might say, "Oh, that's a risk that you're taking as a captain," but it's not really because you've
calculated it. It's a calculated risk.
Yeah, it is. But to the person looking on, they go, "Well, geez, how'd you get to that decision?" Well, you've done all your homework and you've done it time and time and time again. That it becomes second nature, and you're weighing up the balance of how risky is this. So that, in your terms, in poker terms, it's is this the right time to bluff?
Yeah,
and what are the repercussions if it doesn't go well?
Yeah.
Well, the reality is you've lost 1 over. You might lose a game, and I mean that takes a bit of wrestling to get that balance right. But the more experience you get, the better you get at it.
Well, you definitely have the experience because your resume is one of the best in Australia's for white ball. In my opinion, you and Maxi, I can't pick one because you're both my very good friends. But
Maxi's, that's ridiculous. I mean, I'm biased towards Maxi. I was always really hard on him as a player and as a friend at times.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's as good as we've had, I think, for what he's been able to achieve. The places that he's taken the game is ridiculous.
I would have loved to have seen you and Maxi open for Australia one day. That would have been like a massive dream come true for me to see you guys just both opening for Australia.
I'll tell you another funny story about Maxi is he got his opportunity. He was about to be dropped from the T20 team going back a few years, maybe 2016. He'd been in poor form. I was captain, maybe 2015, whenever it was. He was about to be dropped. And the day before, Steve Smith was captain actually of the one-day side, and I broke my finger in the last ODI. So I missed that series, but I was still in Sri Lanka, and Maxi got promoted to open the batting. He gets 145, probably changes the trajectory of his T20 career at that point. Yep. It was probably slightly before the real cowboys of T20 cricket had taken over, where they were like, right, just go and flog it from ball one. Yeah. So that was incredible sliding doors moment for him, I guess, in that regard. And all players have that at some stage.
It's just about getting opportunities, and when you're given that opportunity, you have to capitalize on it.
Yeah, and he certainly did. And I mean, he's as frustrating a player to captain as what it might be sitting on the couch when you watch him and you go, how did Maxi do that first ball? Or is that the responsibility of a number 6 or something for Australia?
Yeah.
But you don't get the brilliance without putting up with a little bit of that at times as well, because you allow somebody to be themselves, to take the risks that they want to take, and you almost put them into a position where their result is not going to dictate the game. And what I mean by that is, if you've got players with real brilliance who you're not going to rely on, you rely on Steve Smith. You know what you're going to get day in, day out. David Warner, very similar. Maxi was not that person that you would go, right, I know what I'm going to get from him today. Mm-hmm. One day it could be 100 off 50 balls. Next day it could be a dart. And it's just the high risk factors that he's prepared to take that nobody else is. Mm. So you have to put up with days that it doesn't work. So then you put players around them that make their decisions easy to be able to do that. And I mean, he's as brilliant as we've had, I reckon.
Yeah. So as a captain, you captained in 2015 with the World Cup when you won?
No, that was Pup. Michael Clark was captain then. I think I was captain of the T20 side at that stage, but not the 50 over.
So when you made your debut for T20 in 2011, then were captain for it in 2015. That's a pretty quick, that's a 4-year gap to be captain. Was leadership always something that you sort of were strong at, or is it something you learnt from your childhood?
Yeah, I think growing up in the country helps that.
Because you're just very grounded and
you're always grounded, but you're also forced to play against adults from a very young age. And growing up in country footy or cricket clubs, you're around adults from when you're very young.
So mature a lot younger.
I think you do. I use the word mature loosely because I could still be a loose cannon at the best of times, but you're forced to associate with adults
and have conversations
and talk to them and learn from them and just be around them. There wasn't a huge junior sport. Like junior sport was a thing that would happen Friday nights, and then that was it. And then the Saturdays is about under 17 footy, reserve, senior, so it was just a part of your life from a really young age, and you were never. There was never an arm put around you to say, oh, no, it'll be okay. It was, right, toughen up. So in that regard, I think going through the Australian cricket pathway, which I did basically to a T in terms of Victorian primary schools team all the way to Test cricket, you've generally, being one of the better players when you're younger lends itself to the better players generally captain. So I captained a lot of those teams, Victorian under 15s, 17s, 19s, Victorian second 11.
Yeah.
So it sort of just went that way. It was almost a natural progression just because you have experience doing it from a young age.
Were you somebody that found when you were a captain you were able to perform a bit better? Did you like the pressure and like the responsibility? Because I remember Dad saying all the time, because he never got to captain Australia, but he captained Hampshire, he captained Rajasthan, he captained the Stars, he captained all these local teams growing up at his school, all of that. And he always used to say he loved the pressure, he loved the responsibility because he always knew he had to perform.
Yeah.
So he liked that extra layer of pressure.
Yeah. I didn't bother me one bit either way. I think I enjoyed the side of captaincy I enjoyed the most was the planning and preparing for games.
The strategy.
So sitting down with the coaches, whether it be in a formal type meeting where you're going through all the data and all the numbers and all the possibilities that could happen in a day or so, or whether it's quite informal over a beer, like Darren Lehman and I used to get along great, would be at a bar having a beer together and would just be talking for hours, just cricket, like what can we do to possibly change the course of how this team's playing, or what can we do differently? What about this tactic? And that was the part of it that I loved the most, because then when you get out in the field, nothing else matters. And you go in with a clear mind because you know how much preparation that you've done. The times as a player or as a leader when you do panic and you do get nervous out in the like, obviously you get nervous for the result, for your own personal performance as well. But you can let that go easier because you take a step back and you go, oh no, hang on. I've done all the planning. I've done all the preparation. Now it's just up to me to make the right decision at the right time. But I've got all the information. I've been through all that information. Well, what if this bowler goes down in their first over? That's okay.
It's okay,
We've talked about it, and we've sort of mapped it out as a worst case scenario. So doing that was a part of it that I loved, more so than anything else off field. Andrew McDonald gave me one of the greatest lessons that I've ever learned in cricket when I was about 16. He said, one day when you become a professional cricketer, don't buy into cricket politics. And at the time I said, what are you talking about? Cricket politics? Like, the best 11 players get picked and they go out and try their best. He said, if you go with that attitude, great.
Yeah.
And I had no idea what he was talking about for a couple of years until you start to see a little bit of it. But I never bought into any of that stuff. And overall, I just think that probably held me in a bit better stead, because there's not much you can do about it anyway. A lot of it's irrelevant, and whether it's dealing with the board or anything like that, I didn't care one bit for that, because I didn't see that as part of my job.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're representing Australia, you're representing everyone that's come before you. So my job is to get our team to be as successful as possible. So I didn't ever buy into any of that other stuff, and maybe it was a good thing, maybe it was a bad thing. Some guys love that side of it, the corporate side, the sponsor side, but that was never really my go-to.
So it sounds like you always just want your cricket to do the talking. You want your cricket, you want your team that's performing, you want all of that just to do the talking. Leave it all out on the pitch, and that's it.
That's it, and then
keep sport.
Yeah, and celebrate when you win, and commiserate when you lose, and find a way to be better. It's so simple.
Yeah,
a lot of the time, and it gets complicated a lot with so many different layers to everything. But at the end of the day, make one more run than the opposition. Find a way to stop them.
Cricket's it's a simple game.
It is.
Lots of sport as well. Just they're very simple. Let people play the sport how they want to play it. If people are going out of line or whatever, that's okay. But let sport be sport.
Yeah, exactly right. Because it's when you're young, you grow up watching sport, no matter what sport, and you're watching it because you love it. And that's at the end of the day, that's all it is. And that we played it because we loved it. I still watch it. If there's cricket on TV, I'll watch it.
Yeah.
To the point where my daughter walks into a room, and if the cricket's on, she goes, "Dad, are you talking on TV now?" So she knows me as somebody who talks on TV, not as a player.
Yeah,
which is quite funny, and I just love it.
Yeah,
whether it's footy or cricket, I love it.
Do you think there's too much politics now in sport?
Well, I don't really know.
Don't know.
And people might think that that's being quite naive, but I honestly, I couldn't tell you who's on the board of different cricket organisations, because I don't think that is relevant.
To how you're going to perform.
No,
you're out there to lead a team, to captain a team, to get the win for Australia.
Yeah,
that's what you want to do.
And all of that stuff. Like, there's hundreds of people employed by Cricket Australia or the ICC, whoever it might be. That's their job to worry about that.
Your job as captain is to lead out the other 10 to 11 people on your team and play the best you can.
And I think as a coach, it's totally different. You are accountable to the board, and as a player, obviously you are too. But I see that as being their job, and I think the best coaches find a way to separate that as well, and almost take the heat of everyone else and let the team function really well underneath them, and make sure that they're almost protected. So it's a difficult question to answer, because I'm actually quite naive to it. I understand that when you say politics, I'm talking like board to players type politics. I understand
and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I understand that politics obviously fund a lot of, or government funds a lot of grassroots sport, and that's so important. But that's nothing that I've ever concerned myself with.
Do you think coaching is something you'd ever get into?
I like the idea of coaching. The only thing that I'm
takes up too much time away from your family again.
Yeah, and it's so unpredictable.
Yeah.
As a commentator, I think
you've got your schedule. You know what it is. You know where you need to be at what time.
I've got the ability to almost not pick and choose, because I think you have to be more professional than that. You have to keep improving all the time. So you can't just say, "Oh no, I want to do this, and this." I'm still new into it, and I'm working with some of the some legends, like I said before, Ian Smith, Ian Bishop, Ravi Shastri. These guys are legends of broadcast as well as players. So it's so unpredictable. You can't choose where your job opportunities come up, and it's just not something that I'm prepared to do at the moment. I mean, once Esther gets a bit older and it becomes a bit simpler in terms of school schedules and things like that, maybe it's something that I'll look to do. But for now, I love commentating. I love broadcasting. It's not something that I thought I would get into. If you asked me when I was 25, what will you do when you finish playing, I would have had no idea, because I graduated high school barely. I put a lot of eggs in the cricket basket, and I didn't do any trades or anything like that. So
all on cricket.
Yeah, I put it all on cricket, and but I do love seeing improvement, and that was probably the one thing towards the end of my career, particularly with the Renegades. A bit different with Australia, because when you're getting players in, and at that point we're in a position where we had great players already in the side, and there wasn't a huge amount of turnover between formats or anything. So we had, like, it was Smith, Warner, Maxi.
It's still a very similar team to probably when you played in the white ball to what it is, or maybe not necessarily the white ball now, but the test team. It's all been the same for quite a while now, hasn't it?
And I think through the white ball, there's starting to be a bit more turnover of players, and that generally happens a couple of years out from a World Cup. So so that'll continue. But for the Renegades, Melbourne Renegades, I was getting more enjoyment out of watching the youngsters improve than what I was out of my own performance, and it was. That's when you know it's time to hang them up, because you go, I literally wouldn't bother me if I turned up and got no runs, but we won. And there's days when
you saw the younger players getting something out of it and learning and asking questions and playing well. That made you you had more pride in seeing that.
Absolutely, because there's guys that you see train so hard and they're working on something, and then you see them do it in a game and it works, and you're like,
yes,
how good is that?
Yeah.
So that's a part of it that I love. Just not the unpredictability of coaching at the moment. Like, for example, I wouldn't be prepared to pack up my family. I know my wife wouldn't do it anyway. But like, if a county job, for example, come up in the UK, I wouldn't be prepared to pack them up and move
Hampshire or something.
Yeah, exactly right. It's unfair on them. They've sacrificed, particularly my wife. We've been together 11 years, and she's sacrificed a huge amount for me. And I'm still traveling the world, and she's at home with a toddler. Most of the time.
Yeah, I'm sure when Esther grows up and like you'll be able to go on a full family holiday, it'll be so
That's
cool.
the one thing we do get to do a little bit of at the moment while she's not at school as well. So we've done a couple of great trips.
Yeah.
But it's small sacrifices that I think that I'm making by being away, and again, people can go, oh, it's not a sacrifice when you're in the Caribbean for a T20 World Cup and you're commentating once every 4 days.
As somebody who was a kid who went through something very similar to what it sounds like Esther's going through, like, trust me, she'll appreciate it so much. And it's going to be so cool when you guys grow up and get older for her to be able to reflect and ask you questions and talk about it. Because I have so many happy memories of just talking about Dad, of what it was like playing at Hampshire and going there, or what it was like, you know, going all around the world to India, like all these amazing places. I'm so lucky to be able to say I got to live an amazing life with my best friend for 22 years. So it's so awesome to hear you saying, yes, you're making all these sacrifices and you're prioritizing your family first. But I promise Esther will be so grateful and just happy that you're still following your passion and you're doing something that makes you happy. Because for her to be able to go to school and tell her friends, or turn on the TV and see you on the TV talking like that, I promise you will be inspiring her so much.
Oh, cheers. Thank you, mate.
She'll be getting a lot out of it.
Yeah, because you do wrestle with it every now and then. Because like I said earlier,
you feel a little bit guilty. You should be home more.
Yeah, that's a difficult balance. But the reality is, I don't have too many other options. Like I said, I scraped through high school. That was a prerequisite of mum and dad's. I said, if you're gonna put all your eggs in playing cricket, at least finish year 12.
Yeah.
I didn't do any uni. I should have. That's probably a bit of a regret of mine. I was literally all in on cricket. So I for a long time I struggled to see outside of that, and I thought that by putting my focus somewhere else would be taking away, and it really wouldn't have. Probably would have helped it.
It's actually really funny. We've done a few podcasts now, and I reckon I've spoken to probably half of them about school. It's not something I would have planned to talk to them about or think about, but it's just come up, and I've realised now that school is probably such a big and important part of most people's lives that when I've been talking to some of these guests, they either knew it wasn't for them at an early age, or they just were like, nah, finish your 12 and then that's it.
Yeah, and that was me. And like I loved going to school because I loved hanging out with mates. But I hated schoolwork. I would do it, but it was always half-assed pretty much, and just to tick a box to get through. And looking back on it, like my daughter, like she counts in German and she can say a few things in German just from daycare. And that's my only regret, actually, is not learning another language.
Yeah, it's not too late. I tried learning Japanese and Spanish.
How'd you go?
Didn't do very well at either, but like I still would one day love to be able to speak at least one of them. Yeah, I can count to like 50 in Japanese and say hello in both of them. But what language if you could have learnt any, what language would have you picked?
I went down the Duolingo. Route. Yeah, with Spanish. Yeah. But it was no good.
No good?
Nah.
Have you been to Spain before? Is that why you wanted to learn Spanish?
I've been once, but it wasn't. I think it was just, it's a cool language. It's spoken in so many different places.
Enrique Iglesias, the singer, I like him.
It's spoken in so many places around the world that I think that you could get by pretty well if you had that. But that's another thing. Like so going back to school, because I never studied or anything, I'm not sure how to study.
Yeah.
Like,
you didn't have the blueprint you didn't have the blueprint of, okay, this is what I've just learned in class. I have to go home. This is what, like, there was no structural routine of what it was like to study.
Yeah. Well, but if you give me all the stats from cricket or PowerPoint presentations on the Indian team who we're playing next week, I could memorize that in a heartbeat and go through numbers and try and find anomalies in numbers to try and find, right, well, what can we do differently to Virat Kohli, for example, and schoolwork just never resonated whatsoever. And different learning styles as well. I think I love cooking, but I can't read a recipe and follow it. So,
but if you cook it, you know exactly how much ingredients you used.
Even by watching it, so I'll find a recipe that I want, and then I'll go and find that recipe on YouTube. Yeah, I'll watch it. And then I feel like I can do it to a decent level. Yeah. And then remember it and do it again. Yeah. But I can't read a recipe off a...
Yeah. Well, it's like music. We love when we hear a song we haven't heard for a while, we can probably sing it word for word. We know all of that. Yeah. We can probably think that for 1,000 songs, but then we can't remember just like a conversation or people's names. The grocery list. I think it shows what makes our brain tick. Yeah. What really resonates with us, what makes us, feel something towards it. But it obviously feels like with you have such a feeling towards the game of cricket and the sport of cricket that whether it be remembering people's names or stats or locations, like you have a very good memory of that.
Yeah, generally pretty good memory. Like if someone brings up something that happened in a game, I'll generally be able to tell you a lot about it. And I think that's just being a lover of the game and an absolute nuffy, cricket nuffy.
Are you a footy nuffy as well as a cricket nuffy, or more cricket nuffy?
I'll watch footy all weekend.
Yeah, but all teams.
Yeah,
all games. Yeah.
If I miss a game, it doesn't bother me. But
if it's on a Thursday night, you watch it. Whoever's playing.
Yeah. Friday night, Saturday night, and anytime it's on, it'll be on at home. Yeah, yeah. Maybe not always a 4 o'clock Sunday afternoon slot, but not too many good games come out of that one. But I won't troll through stats, so like I don't know every player or like it's with Geelong I'll read reports and stuff on the footy and a little bit of talkback radio here and there, listen to what everyone's saying. But
is SEN your talkback of choice? Is that's the most popular footy one, isn't it?
Yeah, for footy it is. Yeah. Yeah. It probably gets too many talkback callers during cricket season. Yeah. It frustrates me.
I think Dwayne Russell's got a really funny talkback radio, doesn't he? When people call him in. Yeah. No, they're Dwayne's World or something, I think it's called.
Dwayne's World, yeah.
Dwayne's World.
Yep.
Have you always been a Geelong fan?
Yep, always.
So is that because it's closest to Colac?
I think it is because of that reason, but everyone in my family was Collingwood. And then my auntie used to take me to Geelong games. We used to get on the 8 o'clock train from Colac.
Yeah.
Go and watch, like, back in those days, it used to be sometimes under 18s, but then it'd be reserves and seniors.
Yeah.
So we'd get there, we'd be first in line, sit in the outer. Yeah, loved it.
Just love sport.
Loved it.
Do you go to many of the Geelong games now?
When I'm home, yeah. Like the other day we took Esther to her first game.
Yeah.
And my wife's a passionate Blues fan, so that hurt her a little bit to see her there with her Geelong jumper and scarf.
Do you think she'll stay with Geelong?
I don't think so.
You think she'll go?
She'll go to Carlton with Mum and her grandpa. He's big at Carlton as well, so I think that they'll slowly wear her down.
Up. Yeah,
but a bit more success, and the Cats might keep her.
Yeah, I was always, when I was born, I was always St Kilda.
Yeah,
and then when I was collecting footy cards, I loved Matthew Lloyd.
Yeah,
loved number 18, so I started going for Essendon. And now I use
only
18.
because of
only for Matthew Lloyd. I love Matthew Lloyd, love number 18. So I started going for them. Dad was like, no, you can't do that, mate. What are you doing? But then also Dad's dad, my grandpa, Keith, he also goes for Essendon. So we went to a few games together. It was just a good rivalry to mix it up in the house. My mum and sister Brooke were Collingwood. So there was a bit of rivalry there. But then I can't remember what it was, but me and Dad had an argument, and like a fun argument. We never argued, but we had like a fun argument. I was a kid. I said, you know what? I'm going to go for the furthest team from St Kilda, and I'm going to go for Fremantle. So I started going for Fremantle, fell in love with Matthew Pavlich. Dad managed to organise at the MCG for me to run out with Fremantle, ran out with Freo for the day. I'm wearing a Fremantle kit, and Dad's like wearing normal clothes.
That would have hurt him, though.
We're having shots on goal. That hurt him, and he still brings it up. He used to bring it up all the time. It's just like, mate, why'd you go for Freo? So you do need to go for them. But then now I'm back at the Saints. Been at the Saints pretty much for the last 15 years.
Yeah.
But
just a phase you went through.
Yeah, just
a rebellious.
Yeah, just a rebellious phase. But I'm sure
it's funny that there's things that, while it's harmless, will like cut deep inside and
well that's why I did it, because I knew how passionate Dad was for Saints. I'm like, well, if I go for the furthest team away, he did. You'd watch a few games of the Saints with him?
I don't reckon I ever went to a Saints game with him.
No. What about at poker home games?
Yeah, when it's on it used to be on the big cinema screen downstairs. That was
a few multis. Everyone pick a leg.
That was it was interesting.
Yeah.
Great abuser.
Yeah.
Great abuser of the TV.
Yeah, great abuser. I was the fly on the wall for a lot of the years in the games watching him, but I can still remember so vividly the words he would call players. But just talking about footy and about Dad, he had such a good insight of so many different sports. Like, he knew what was about to happen before it happened, or why that player's done that. It was just so fascinating to hear him talk about all different sport.
Yeah, and I think especially
golf as well. You're a keen golfer, aren't you?
Yeah. Love golf. It's probably something that subconsciously in terms of body language and stuff that you can pick up on different things that somebody's about to do. And I'm not saying I can do it very well, but on cricket field I can, because you'll see a phase of the game and you'll go, right, this is what's about to happen and this is why, because it's almost like you can see it happening in slow motion just based on everything you've seen before.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Like, obviously he was great at reading people. So it's the smallest things that people mightn't see, that they don't pop out at you, but you look back on it, and if you watch it really closely, you go, oh, maybe that's what he saw.
Yeah.
Like it could be just a look on somebody's face when the pressure comes on, or the way they're walking, the way that they're just carrying themselves at the time. You can understand a lot from that. Yeah. And it just gives you a feeling, and it doesn't always happen, but it gives you, the more you see it, the more you go, oh yeah, that's a pattern.
Yeah. Were you ever a big sledger on the field?
Not really.
No.
I wasn't very good at it, even if I did. Mine was just rubbish, actually.
Yeah. When you were playing though, and when you were captain, was there people in the slips or the wicketkeeper? Were they chirpy?
Probably when I was captain, it had got to the point where, and it's only one day in T20 cricket mainly, where everything happens just so fast.
So it's not as important as a test match where they're in for 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah, and you can start to try and break someone down over a long period of time. It just doesn't happen. After 10 overs, there's only, or 6 overs in a T20, 10 in a one-day game now. There's only 4 fielders inside the circle plus the bowler and the keeper. So it's not like you can have that real
the psychological warfare or impact.
Which obviously Shane was so famous for as well, just trying to mentally break somebody down over hours and then over days and then over series and then over years and years. It just doesn't happen in one-day cricket anymore because it's just guys spread around too quick and the game probably moves too fast now.
Yeah. Well, I think when you're talking about Dad breaking down people over the years, I think it was it Daryl Cullinan that he had a very famous rivalry with, and that Daryl Cullinan actually saw a psychiatrist to see how he could actually face Dad.
Yep.
I think that was the story I remember. But yeah, Dad used to love that psychological factor of sport because it is so important. People think it's just you go out there and perform, but like your psychological and your brain and how you're thinking is such a big part of sport as well.
Yeah, it is. And because he was so relentless as well. Like, didn't matter what he was playing, he'd want to win.
Yeah.
Like, and I think it's probably everyone wants to win, but not everybody desperately wants to win.
Yeah.
And will maintain a standard for long enough to be able to win consistently. And whether that's just breaking somebody down, it's like Davey Warner, he's got that. Like he'll continually just keep pushing and pushing and pushing. Doesn't matter what it is. Could be first off the bus, but he'll do everything that he can to be off the bus first.
Yeah.
Like to win. And it's just people like that continue to, I think, drive an expectation so hard, but also drive the or keep the pressure on for so long that you're just like
they hold themselves to such a high standard.
Yeah, and you just think maybe you can let this one go to win something else.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, no, that was never like that. I saw him. I used to caddy with him all the time for golf tournaments and pro-ams, and he was as competitive, if not more, on the golf course or on the poker table as he was on the cricket pitch.
Mate, I let him down one day on the golf course. We were playing together.
Yeah.
It was myself and Shane versus Jason.
Uncle Jace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Sam Newman. And we were playing at Capital and neither of us had played very well and there was a bit on the line. And on the 18th, he did a poor tee shot. We needed to win the hole to win. It was all square going into 18. And he hit an average one. But I had a shot on that hole. So he's like, right, we need you here. And I absolutely screwed it, like lost ball off the tee. And just the way that he looked at me, he's like, how can you do that? It's like the 18th hole. Like this is where the pressure's the most. I'm like, shit. And that's, I've felt that before, but it's all good fun.
Yeah. Would golf be probably one of your biggest hobbies outside of cricket? Do you find it's a really good sort of form of therapy, a good way to socialise, good way to stay active?
Yeah, I think it is. It's great fun, and you play with similar guys most of the time. So I probably don't get to play as much as I would like, and I guess that's when you're away a lot. Like most guys will play Saturday morning. A big group of my mates will play Saturday morning. Esther goes to daycare Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, so I don't want to then just pack up and go, I'm going to play golf.
She would
Saturday
also want to spend time with you.
And it's not fair on Amy either to do that. Yep. So I'm more a midweek player, and there's only a certain amount of people who can
play midweek.
afford that midweek.
Yeah.
But it's good fun. I mean, it gets you out there, keeps some kind of competitive juices flowing, and it's great. And seeing improvement is the best thing. Particularly when I'd never played it when I was young. I didn't play until I was 18 or so. So then to improve at something when you're older is pretty cool as well.
And it's the only sport where the ball isn't moving. So it's all, there's the weather and there's heaps of factors and all that sort of stuff, but it's like the ball is stagnant and then you're hitting it.
That's ridiculous, isn't it?
It's
how hard it is.
Yeah.
Like you are the only.
Yeah, you're the only person to blame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like to face somebody bowling 150 and hit them in the middle of the bat as you want, time and time again, like that's pretty hard when there's variables galore. And then there's just a little ball in the middle of like in nice grass, it's sitting up on top.
Yeah.
And you can't hit it in the middle of the club. Like it is so infuriating at times She's like, how could I be so good at one skill, and then hand-eye coordination? That's all it is.
Yeah.
And like I use my arms and my hands and everything for a living. Why can't I repeat that?
Yeah.
And it's so infuriating.
Yeah. Did you get the golf bug when you were about 18, 19?
Yeah, I'd never played growing up. And then just as I started playing cricket for Victoria or in the squad, you got a bit more time on your hands. Guys, they go out and play golf. So I was like, oh, tag along. And just got into it that way and love it. Like that's another thing that I'll watch nonstop on TV.
Is golf?
Yeah.
Yeah. Who would be some of the funnest or some of the best players that surprised you on the golf field? Because I think Punter plays off scratch.
Yeah.
BJ's not a cricketer, but I know he's really good. Brendan Goddard, he's a great golfer. Who were some of the people that when you were playing golf, you were like, wow, that's impressive?
John Holland, left arm spinner for Victoria, played a few tests for Australia. He would just pull up out of the car, like play once a week and go even par, then practice for a bit and shoot 3 or 4 under, like just ridiculously good. Maxie's probably the most entertaining to play with. Yeah. Because he has massive blow-ups.
Does he? Break a few golf clubs?
Have seen him break a couple here and there. And it's easy to get into his head on the golf course because if he hits a bad one, you can just chip away and you can watch the steam coming out of his ears until he finally explodes. But John Holland, he was brilliant. Just beautiful. Just hit it down the middle, hit it in the middle of the green. Yeah, it's so frustrating too.
I know. It's like when Dad we'd always be going to these golf tournaments, you'd see these people that are just good at everything, and especially golf, cricket, tennis, footy, all these things. That golf was the one thing that Dad always just wanted to be better at, but could never sort of break that 3.5, 4, 5 handicap. Yeah. But if you were playing with him and it was for money, his handicap might have been 8 or 9.
Exactly right.
So it was always a little bit higher to give himself some extra shots.
Just do anything to win.
Literally anything to win. Do you have a favourite golf course you've played at? Or a top 3?
I played one years ago just out of Johannesburg called Blair Athol. Yeah. That was amazing.
Not too hot?
No, I'm not sure it's even a golf course anymore. It was built in an old quarry, and I think it was one of those only 50 members type setups. That's probably unsustainable after a long period of time, but that was amazing. I love Kingston Heath. That's as good as anywhere I've ever played.
We're quite lucky in Melbourne. Dad always had this idea, like, do you know what the Dunhill is? What Dad used to play in the Dunhill?
Very jealous of it.
Yeah. Have you played in it before?
Never.
Would you play in it?
Oh, 100%.
You should definitely play in it. I'd love to try and handball a way for you to get organised to play in it because Dad would have loved for you to experience it.
One thing that I was always told about the Dunhill is if you're asked to play in it, you'll never ever get invited. So that's why I've never
asked,
never mentioned it.
Or maybe you might get an email from somebody asking, "Do you want to play this year?" But it was always around Dad's birthday in September, and he said it was like the best thing about it.
Everyone who plays it reckons it's the greatest thing. Yeah, between the Dunhill and then the New Zealand Open.
Yeah, the New Zealand
Pro-Am. That seems like a lot of fun.
A few cricketers play though in both of them. I reckon.
Yeah, they do. Beefy and Varney always pump it up. Big time. They're great guys, but I've never played. I've played pro-ams and stuff like that, but I've never played in a tournament style.
Like a tournament?
Nah, that'd be awesome.
Have you been to Scotland before?
Never.
Never been to Scotland?
Never. The Aussie cricketers have just gone the World Test Championship. They went to.
Is that being played? That's not being played in Scotland, is it?
No, it's at Lord's, but they
passed through there.
Yeah, they just found their way from, Andrew McDonald, the coach, found his way from Melbourne all the way up to Scotland. Yeah. And then back down to Lord's. So they made a trip of it. It's obviously a long way to go. So they tacked on 4 or 5 days at the start and played some ridiculous courses, they said.
Oh, did they play at all the St Andrews? And
they didn't play St Andrews on this occasion. They did last time they were there for the Ashes, but very jealous. Another golf course that I've played, Formby, which is in Liverpool. It's sort of there's a huge coastline with some of the best golf courses in the world there, and I've played there. Royal Liverpool was cool. I've played once in the States, and that was at Pinehurst. Yeah. But not number 2, which is the major track. I think we played number 4, which is a bit shorter, but it was still a great experience. But there's some great golf courses around the world. Where Cape Kidnappers, I organised for a heap of guys to play there, and then got the flu. So I couldn't
play.
No, I was stuck in my hotel room. I was on a 1-day tour that were in New Zealand and couldn't play. I was so crook. And that just regrets like that you have. That why didn't I just get out and play?
Yeah. Have you ever played at Cathedral?
I played a couple of times at Cathedral. That's really cool. I've played there when it's been probably a bit wet, and it can be a bit.
It's not the same experience.
Nah, but it's a beautiful course, beautiful property. Just haven't probably played it in the nicest conditions. When it gets wet up there, it gets really wet. But it's beautiful. Love it.
Yeah.
Played Capital a lot. Never played Royal Melbourne.
Never played Royal Melbourne.
Never played Royal Melbourne. So that's, you know what, one of my favourite courses. I play down at 13th Beach in Barwon Heads, but just across St Andrews Beach.
Yeah,
like that is one of my favourite courses to play, and I think it's just a public course, isn't it?
Yeah, well, that's where the producer behind the scenes is from, down in St Andrews.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's where Kai is from. But
that's a beautiful course. Yeah. I love playing there.
Yeah,
it's windy and it's hard, but
and then into Davey Warner's St Andrews Brewery, right around the corner. That's a very popular sort of duo that a lot of people do. I've got a lot of friends that do it for like their golf trip once a month or once every 6 months or whatever.
Once a month.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
Geez, they've got some flexible hours.
They've got some time. A lot of them are sort of tradies that work down in sort of Port St. Sorrento. Nice. That's one of the nicest golf courses.
Yeah, I love it. You can always get on there. It's good fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, where's the best you've played?
Well, I've actually never played a full round of 18 holes because I'm just not a golfer. But one of the best.
But you've got into it a bit lately, though.
Yeah, well, So I always used to caddy with Dad, and then at the start of 2022, I got a few lessons because Dad was like, all right, mate, let's start playing together. I'm like, yep, I want to start playing with you. Let's do it. So I got about 6 or 7 lessons in, was doing really well. I figured out my grip with the interlock like this, did all the right foundations, had my shoulders to the right spot, where to put my feet. But then, just never got the chance to sort of play with Dad. So I've sort of lost that, the golf bug. But no, I've got plenty of friends that play. One of my best friends who lives with me, Sam, he plays like once a week when he gets a chance. But yeah, it's just very sort of therapeutic. Yeah. Gets you outside, gets you socialising, gets you being active.
So what about poker
keeps you being competitive.
You play a lot of poker.
Yep.
Is that the similar like you're at the table for hours and hours, especially in a tournament, and it might be an hour before you get a hand that you can play. Yep. So is it the same? Do you have the same therapeutic, or you're always looking for tells? And
well, it's similar where like I'm very patient. Like I can sit at a table for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours and not play a hand, but I wouldn't say it's the right therapeutic because like you could wait all that time, get it in with the 80%, 90% favorite and still lose. And it's probably the only sport or activity in the world where you can do nothing wrong, do everything properly and correct. The odds be in your favor, you get all the right stuff and you still lose.
Yeah.
And so that's one thing that I always, like whenever I get really bad beaten in poker, I always just macca's on the way home. Doesn't matter if I'm on a diet or whatever it is. I need comfort food. I'm angry because I'm not like an angry person. I don't like yell or release my anger in that way. I just go really quiet, really silent, and I just eat lots of food.
Drive through.
What's your
go-to Macca's
order? It actually was probably for 20 years was always just large fries, 2 hamburgers with a steamed bun and nuggets.
Yeah.
Have you had a steamed bun before?
Yeah.
They're so good. So that was my order, but then I tried a cheeseburger for the first time and I was like, that's actually pretty...
You're just talking a hamburger?
Yes, a hamburger. So a cheeseburger without cheese. So
you're a maniac.
Yeah, so just a basic hamburger. So that's what I used to have. And then I tried a cheeseburger, was actually pretty good. I was like, it's not bad.
Is this a part of when you went through the phase of trying different foods?
Yeah, this is when I was...
And documenting them?
Yeah, this is when I was doing Jackson tries.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's when I tried watermelon, strawberry.
Yeah.
Tried a beer as well for the first time when I did that. I think I need to bring it back, Jackson tries.
I agree.
I'm a lot healthy now and I feel really good, but like I would love to sort of experiment with maybe trying I don't know, what would be, I always get when I was trying it, oysters or snails was like the number 1 and 2 things people want me to try.
You're going hard there.
They just want to see me react and be sick.
I love oysters. I've had snails a couple of times in France, but like they're not. Yeah, that's just a thought of a snail that is worse than the actual
actually
taste.
Eating it.
Yeah, Like some Japanese.
Yep.
I think some Japanese.
Yeah, I tried sushi. I wasn't a fan of sushi though.
At all.
No.
What about like?
I think I tried
takoyaki, the Japanese octopus balls.
Oh no, I haven't tried that.
You're thinking yakitori, the
I tried.
skewers.
Kai, do you remember what sushi was that I tried? It was like raw fish, sashimi. Yeah, that. I think it was that I tried. Wasn't a fan.
I love it.
You like it?
Yeah.
You know, I just tried. I'm like, that's just not for me. And people say I'm a really fussy eater. That's true. But I like to use the word simple.
Yeah.
Just a simple eater. But going back to my Macca's order, tried a cheeseburger. Then I tried a double cheeseburger. I was like, oh, that's pretty good as well.
Yeah.
Then I tried a triple cheeseburger. I was like, that's pretty good, but a bit too big. So now my order is just large fries, a double cheeseburger, a hamburger, and some nuggets.
Nice.
I saved the hamburger for last so I can put chips in the hamburger and eat it.
Oh, yeah.
What about you? What's your go-to?
Pizza. I love pizza as a takeaway. Like if I'm being gross, like just a filthy pizza.
Yeah, lots of greasy, lots of cheese.
I'm not talking traditional
no, you want
thin crust, but I'm talking
dirty,
like,
rotten, greasy pizza.
Yep.
Yeah. I reckon Dad actually did a poll one Big Bash game where that was actually a topic. What's the best type of pizza? Like gourmet pizza, traditional, and then Dad made his own one. It was just dirty, rotten, greasy pizza.
Yep.
And it won all of the votes.
Yeah, because it is the best if you just need something.
Yeah.
Like if whether you're having a bad day, you've had a shit week or something.
Yeah.
It'll make you feel shocking 20 minutes after you eat it.
Yeah.
But it's a Friday night. You're watching the footy. Yeah.
Was there anything sort of when you were playing, let's say you've just lost a really close game and
beers.
Just beers.
Beers. That's been my weakness.
Yeah.
Even like when I was playing, like not in terms of being a huge drinker, but I'd love
just beers.
Yeah. The dietitian would say, well, maybe just change to a vodka lime and soda or something.
Yeah.
Nah.
No, well, I feel like it's such a big culture in cricket is just the celebrations, the beers after. Like I remember so many stories of Dad when he was playing. It actually is what was bringing so many people together because when you're sort of finishing the game, whether it be during an Ashes or you're overseas or whatever it is, no matter who's won or lost, that 20, 30 minutes after you've done all the media and the autographs and the whatever, everybody's family and friends are all in the change rooms and then you're all together in the change rooms, whether it be all of the countries, the players, the friends. And like that is so many people have such memorable moments from those change rooms.
Yeah, and that's what it used to be like. It's not so much like that anymore because I think like there'll be times guys will finish a test match then be flying out that night.
Really?
So there's this.
Is that just because it's the personality of that player, or they're just
that's just commitment? It's just a schedule.
Yeah,
like especially if like a test match is a bit different. Like if it finishes inside the 5 days. But I don't think until the series is over, then the teams would get together or anything like that. But yeah, that was my weakness. Beers.
When you bring up the people's schedule, do you think there's too much cricket now? Like that, there's when your people are playing tests or world championships.
For people to play across all 3 formats internationally now and still play domestic T20 comps like the IPL and stuff, that's a brutal schedule.
Yeah.
So. Like I said earlier, people say, well, you can't miss a test match to then go to IPL.
Yeah,
well, you can. Like if someone's paying you $3 million for 8 weeks, 9 weeks, you're not going to turn that down.
So do you think that's a priority of now most players either picking IPL or picking something more than a test?
No, I think it's just reality that you've got to get to terms with because it's commercially so viable for the local, like Cricket Australia or ECB or anything like that. I think it's so lucrative for them as well. So I think it's just reality. Like if you had to miss a test match as a fast bowler, for example, then you would do that over missing IPL because it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
And the issue is I think at times that window is just getting a bit bigger and bigger each year. Like it's just being pushed out. So then that squeezes international cricket into a smaller window and then Big Bash fights for their spot, the 100 fights for their spot within it as well. So it's just been so cramped.
So would there be many players now that play in the Big Bash, then play in all the tests, then play in the IPL, then play, because now there's an American League and a Dubai League, and then also play all 3 formats of Australian cricket. So
not really
20 ODI. No,
I
too much cricket.
There is too much, but well, it's not too much.
Not too much cricket. So there's just
I think it just comes down to what you can physically manage.
Yeah.
The problem with the Australian schedule is that our Big Bash runs when the Test matches run. So in that regard, we've got our best 12 or 14 players missing for majority of the Big Bash summer. Like it's been years since Pat Cummins has played. Steve Smith plays 1 or 2 games a year. Travis Head will be the same. Alex Carey the same. So it just doesn't match up well for the Big Bash. And then it gets to the end of the Test summer, and they say, well, why can't Josh Hazlewood come and play? Because he's just bowled 300 overs in a Test series. Like you need some break at some point as well. Otherwise, you'll just break guys. So I think that's just a reality of the schedule these days, that guys have to pick and choose more, but IPL will be one that they won't
miss out.
No.
Yeah. So do you think it sounds like as well that the players have got sort of they've got more sort of say in whether they play or they don't play? Like if
internationally?
Internationally. Because I'm trying to remember when Dad, like he would always just say, no, well, if I have to be there and play, I have to play.
Yeah.
Whether it be working through his shoulder reconstructions, like no matter what it is, you have to be there and play. But nowadays, do you think they've got a bit more?
Yeah, it's all mapped out a bit more scientifically these days.
The sports scientists.
And like when you go back even 20 years, when you think of that great era of Australian teams, they would have the home summer with maybe a couple of ODIs, and then they'd have a major winter tour. So there was still long enough breaks during that. Whereas now you go from the Australian summer, and if you're not playing Test cricket, like say you're a T20 franchise player, your team gets knocked out of the Big Bash or doesn't make the playoffs, you'll be on a flight to South Africa that night to play in the last group game and then potentially finals in South Africa.
Yeah.
And from there you'll fly to Dubai to play in the IL T20, I think it's called.
Yeah.
And then there might be a one-day tour, a white ball tour for Australia, say in Sri Lanka. So then you go over to Sri Lanka, you play in that, and then it's IPL time.
Yeah.
And then you get to IPL, that finishes. There'll be maybe a one-day, some kind of white ball tour, and then before you know it's the 100. And that's almost your year done.
Yeah.
And then like you throw in World Cups almost every year now, whether it be T20,
or ODI,
T20s are every
tests,
2.
Yeah.
So there's three out of 4 years will be an ICC event in the white ball space, and then you throw the World Test Championship on top of that and a Champions Trophy. So that there's one a year on average. So there's just not enough space.
Yeah. Do you think it's for the up-and-coming player nowadays, do you think they might have a few more options to be able to represent Australia now because there's so many different formats they can perform in?
Yeah. And they also get more opportunities around the world.
Yeah, more opportunities.
So if you're not playing IPL, you can go to
Dubai.
You can go to Dubai. You can go to
there's a new American League as well, isn't there?
Brilliant.
Yeah.
So good. I played in the first one.
Was that in 2021 or 2?
2020
started? 23. Because that's what Maxi's going over there now for, isn't he? Yeah.
He's playing for Washington, so I was captain of Sam Fran in the first year. And then second year, Paddy Cummins was captain, and I'm not sure whether he's there this year.
Yeah.
No, he won't be because they're going to be in the West Indies after the World Test Championship. So, but guys can go all around the world and play. So it almost forces guys, like if they're not playing Shield cricket, it almost forces them down that T20 route.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think it's the best route to go as a youngster. I think that you need to wait till
T20.
Yeah, I think you need the grounding and you need the base of big pre-seasons, the structure of hitting balls. Because reality is you might only face 4 or 5 overs in a 2020, but in a test you might face 40 or something. Yeah, so I use the example of Jake Fraser-McGurk a little bit because he's
actually, I think, speaks very highly of him as well.
Yeah, great kid, trains his ass off.
Yeah.
But he's gone a bit cold lately in terms of his performances, probably 12 months. And he's another one, a bit like Max, he plays a high-risk, high-reward game. But he's had 4 or 5 years of being in a state system where you play a game, then you hit a heap of balls, you get enough time to work on your game, address any technical issues, then you go again. And it's a game, and it's a similar process. And you do that over a 10 and a half month period. So you're hitting a lot of balls, but you're also training a lot. So, and you mightn't be playing as much. When
and a different mindset as well when
Yeah.
you're going out to bat.
Yeah, absolutely. But then you almost, well, his career then takes off in the T20 space. Now he hops from T20 comp to T20 comp. So you turn up to a team the day before, and that's reality now. Some guys turn up on the day and then play that night.
And the Australian selectors probably look at somebody that's doing really well in 2020. Oh, he'll just be an opener, then he can't bat at 4 or 5, or he's not showing.
There's a little bit of that. But if I just keep going down this, like where you go, he then goes from a tournament where he turns up on the day, plays 3 or 4 games, and you mightn't get the best out of them then. And then it's time to go and play in a different tournament. When you're used to having a routine of having enough time to work on your game, now you're just going bang, bang, bang without having a time. If you're making any technical adjustments, you're doing it in a professional game because there's no time to be able to sort of strip it back unless you have a massive break. And guys aren't prepared to do that now because they're making too much money. Just go from playing to playing. So then as your performance dips, you realise that you might be 2 or 3 tournaments away from being out of a job, right?
Yeah.
And when you go down the T20 route, and this isn't Jake, this is just players in general who might be getting towards the end of their career, then strength and conditioning is back on you because you've got no base to go back to. There's no state program or anything. Physio, you get a niggle, you're sourcing your own physios. If you're out of the game, you're not getting paid. So that's a hard one to quantify with young kids because they see the dollars and go, well, I can make.
Why would I play test when I can make more money playing?
Yeah, but reality is it's a brutal existence as well. So you need a lot of credits in the bank, I reckon, if you're going down that route as a youngster.
Yeah.
So that's just different, and they just think about it different these days, and it's not right or wrong.
Yeah,
it's just a different way of doing it, and just without that net of the structure of an organised program underneath you, I think it just takes a lot of adjusting to get used to.
And it's probably because that's what they grew up with as well. Like we all grew up with only having sort of test match, and that was the only form of cricket. But then as we've sort of gotten a bit older, and kids nowadays, they've got access to ODIs, 2020, and for them, 2020 is probably a lot more exciting because they see more sixes, they see more wickets, they see more fireworks and sounds and celebrations, whereas the test matches, when you're watching it, you have to be patient. You might not see wicket for 3, 4, 5 hours. Yeah. But when you see it, like it's an important moment. It's a great moment.
I love it. I love test cricket.
Yeah.
But what we're seeing now is the young kids, this is the first generation of young kids who have grown up with their first point of contact in cricket being T20. So when I was growing up, it was test cricket and ODIs. And back then ODIs were, you get 220. That's a huge score.
Yeah.
So these kids are learning T20 from the first time they pick up a bat or ball. So their philosophy on the game is just walk out and smack it. Yep. But I'm going to smack it out of the park. Vaibhav Suryavanshi from Rajasthan, 14-year-old.
Yeah, Vaibhav,
walks out and peels off 100 and smacks.
We were there. Me and Kai were there for that game.
For that game, were you?
Yeah.
That's incredible.
100 runs off 35 balls at 14 years old.
Yeah, it was incredible.
Unbelievable.
But he's grown up on T20 cricket. Like Jaiswal and these young kids, that they've grown up playing T20 cricket from when they first pick up a bat, whereas I learnt T20 cricket from when I was maybe 16. And then the next generation from probably when they're 9 or 10. Whereas now these kids, the game's going to a different level. I don't know where else it can go to, but it's just a different level altogether.
Yeah, it's exciting because it means we could see run scores that in test matches that we've never seen before, or it could go backwards, or it could be the same. You know, or nothing could change, exactly. And we're, but no, Finchy, thank you so much for coming on, mate. Sorry if I've taken up too much of your time.
Never.
In closing, I've got 3 questions. I ask all my guests. You don't have to answer them or whatever, but I'll just ask them. Is that okay?
Absolutely.
All right. First question is, what would you give advice to your younger self?
Be prepared to push the boundaries with cricket. Like, I'm talking from a cricket point of view here as my chosen profession. Well, like we talked about, the only one that I had an option in. Push the boundaries a little bit. I think I was a bit scared to push the boat out far enough to jeopardise something, and I think I could have been better if I was prepared a little bit more in that regard. In terms of life,
yep,
embrace everything. Just say yes a bit more. I think once I started playing for Australia, I started to get a bit
like, what will these people think of me? Or I have to act this certain way, or I can't be caught doing this.
To my younger self would just be just say yes to challenges, say yes to opportunities, embrace it, enjoy the challenges that come with doing something new. Yeah,
that's great advice. Second question, well, we actually might not know the answer to this. If you weren't playing cricket, what would you be doing instead?
I've thought about this recently, actually, and I actually don't know. There was nothing like. I love the idea of being a builder.
Yep.
I think
anything
it's so
in particular?
Cool. I think
houses.
It's so cool. Houses.
Yeah.
I think it is so cool.
Yeah.
Well, I couldn't do it. I absolutely couldn't do it. I spend so much more money on tradies repairing stuff ups that I've done because I've had to go out doing something myself.
Yeah.
I would probably still be in Colac, working just a regular job, I'd say.
Yeah. Well, I can relate to you on the building thing. It's not similar to building, but like, I love Lego. I love building Lego. When I was at school, I used to build furniture. Yeah. My first job, or one of my first jobs outside of school, which I did for about 6-7 months, was in a furniture shop, building desks, cabinetry.
So I've never done anything. I've never built anything. I don't know how to build anything.
You can learn. It's never too late to learn.
My brother's a plumber.
Yeah.
So anything that I want to do, I just call him and say, I'm thinking about doing it, and he'll generally generally do it. Yeah. But I fantasize about being a builder. Like, I drive past people building houses, and I'm like, that is so cool.
Yeah. It's never too late. Maybe one day we see Finch's builds one day, and maybe you're sort of just masterminding the architecture. And don't buy them.
If you see Finch's builds and I'm building them, don't buy them.
That's so good. And then third and last question is, if you could have dinner with 5 people, dead or alive, who would they be?
Oh, this is a hard one, I reckon. Michael Jordan, he'd be on my list. Tiger Woods.
Yeah.
I think just 2 guys that I've grown up watching like dominate. Even though I wasn't a huge basketball fan.
Just seeing the dominance of someone. Yeah, I like it too.
And how cool.
Yeah.
Mates. Like my best mate, like I went for dinner with him the other night, and we just sat there and had a meal, a couple of beers, watching the footy. Like,
best night ever.
And it was the greatest.
Yeah, I'm so lucky now that I, for 2 years, was living with my 2 best friends, Sam and Xavier. Went to school with them since I was in ELC 3. Xavier recently moved to Paris at the start of the year, but some of the best nights I've ever had in my life, like the best nights ever, it'll be we order Uber Eats, a pizza or Macca's or something, we eat it, we watch footy, and when that finishes, we go upstairs and we either play Mario Kart or Super Smash Bros. For 3 or 4 hours. Yeah. And that is like, they are to me some of the best nights ever.
Yeah, and you'll tell someone about it and they go, how boring was your night? Yeah. But it was the best.
Yeah, it's so good.
Muhammad Ali would be a pretty cool one.
Yeah.
I think if he was at dinner, that would be just to like you
ask him questions and the insight he would have. Yeah. Doing it when he did 60s and 70s.
That'd be so cool, because obviously he went through a lot of hard times as well. Like that would be incredible. My wife, she can be
shout out to Amy.
Be there for dinner. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have dinner together a lot, but we also miss a lot of dinners.
That's a good table.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods, Muhammad Ali, your best mate, and Amy.
Yeah.
Good table.
I think it'd be good.
Oh, awesome. Oh, well, thank you so much for...
Maybe she can go off when we start getting into the weeds, Tiger Woods and...
Yeah, when you're talking about sport.
About some stories. Yeah. Story time as well. It'd be pretty cool.
Have some awesome stories. Well, Finchy, thank you so much for coming on, mate.
Pleasure.
Really appreciate it. Sorry if I took up too much of your time.
Never, mate.